I needed to get some passport photos done recently, and one option is just to go to a local photo studio, but it means 2 trips to the shop, one to take the photos and then another trip to collect the photos, and that's not really convenient. And they'll also charge me, and I've got everything I need to do that at home for free, so that's what I decided to do. Unfortunately, I haven't got a proper studio at home. It's one thing I want to do in the future, add a little room to the side of the house to make into a studio. So I'm just using my office, which is quite small. Here's the setup I used. So I'm using 2 off-camera flashes at a 45-degree angle, just to get even light and to cancel out shadows in the background. One is a Canon 430EX Mark II, and the other is an old 550EX. Both of these flashes can be used in slave mode. And I'm just using some very cheap small diffusers that I bought online. They're not quite the same as a big softbox, but they do help to diffuse the light a little. And for the background, I've just hung up a piece of white sheet using screws and bulldog clips. If I ever do get my own proper studio at home, I'll get a proper background setup. So this is what I'm using, and the next thing is to work out how to trigger the off-camera flashes. And I've actually got 3 options. One option is to use the 550EX in master mode, but in this setup I'm using it as a slave, so I can't use the 550EX. And I've got 2 other options. I prefer one of them, and that's what I'm going to talk about now. This is my first option for triggering off-camera flash. This is the Canon STE2. It's quite old, and I have to point out that there are 2 types of wireless flash system. There's optical pulse light and there's radio. Radio is more recent. All of my equipment is the old optical pulse light. So this is really old school, this STE2, and everything is done through external control. It's a bit like cars. You know, in the past you could do everything using switches and dials, and now you have to go through touchscreens. So turn it on, and then it's got 4 channels. That's to reduce interference if someone else is using one of these devices nearby. And then there's a ratio button, and with that off, all of the flashes that is triggered are fired at the same power. If you turn it on, you can divide the flashes into groups A and B, and you can have one group that has a more powerful flash than the other group. You might do that to get a special effect. In my case, for a passport photo, I just wanted even lighting, so I didn't use any ratio. This pilot light shows that it's ready to operate, and that also acts as a test button, so you can press that to test that the flashes are working. And provided that enough light comes back through the lens metering system, this confirmation light will then illuminate. The device uses a 2CR5 battery, which are not widely available. If you were using this outside and you ran out of battery, this might be quite difficult to find. The other alternative I'm going to show you in a minute uses AAA batteries, which are very easy to find. So this is the STE2. It works fine. It's old school, but it certainly does the trick. This is my second alternative. It's the Canon Speedlite 90EX. And I'll probably never have bought this separately, but when I bought my original EOS M, it came in a kit, and this was included because the EOS M doesn't have a flash, so that they give you a small external flash. And many of Canon's high-end cameras don't have a built-in flash. So if you just want a very small compact flash to take out that's not heavy, not big, it's just convenient, this will be a good choice. It's not very powerful, but it's certainly good enough to give you some flash power indoors. And what a lot of people probably don't realise, that it can also be used as a master flash. However, unlike the STE2, there are no external controls on the 90EX. So if you want to use it as a master flash, you need to go through the camera settings. So let's go into menu, and then flash control, and then external flash function settings. And you need to turn on this little lightning symbol. If you don't have this on, you won't get any of the wireless options. So turn that on, and then you'll see below you've got the same AB ratio settings that we saw on the STE2. So you can vary the ratio between the flashes in Group A and Group B. And additionally to the STE2, this also has a C group. So you could have the A and B group flashes pointing at your subject, and maybe you could illuminate your background with the flashes in C group. And you can just set this to be darker or brighter, like a flash exposure compensation. So it's actually a very useful little device. And unlike the STE2, it just uses AAA batteries. So we've got two AAA batteries. So if you're out in the field and it runs out of power, you'll be able to buy some AAA batteries from anywhere, any 7-Eleven or Minimart. So it's a really useful little device, and it's so useful in fact that I bought myself another one recently. I'm not sure if Canon sell these anymore, because it's part of the EOS M range, and they've discontinued that range now, so you can't buy EFM lenses or EOS M cameras. I'm not sure if you can still buy these new, but there are quite a few available on eBay. I got this one from eBay in Japan, and it's in fantastic condition, and it was about $30 and sent very quickly. So they're still available if you want one. So just to summarise, if you're a Canon user and you're thinking about doing some off-camera wireless flash, I would highly recommend the Speedlite 90EX. It's smaller than the STE2, it's got more functionality, it uses more readily available batteries, and it can also be used as a flash. So it's a great little device.